Is it possible to find an affordable home in Cary? Today we're going to be diving into some of our favorite affordable options around the Cary area, so stick around.
All right, so I want to define what we mean by affordable really quickly. So
it's going to sound like our head is in the clouds or something.
Yeah, well, yeah, potentially. So the way we pick these neighborhoods is essentially mid-fives and below, which when you're looking in the context of Cary, mid-fives and below is actually affordable. So Cary on average is around mid-sevens to upper sevens. And so if you can get in a home in Cary, mid-fives and below, that's a really good deal.
Yeah, significantly cheaper than the average.
And a lot of people write Cary off because they look at the price tags, they look at the averages, and they're like, well, I just can't afford Cary. And so in a lot of cases, that's not true. And so that's why we wanted to make this video to point out some neighborhoods that are affordable options, because there's actually quite a few of them.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. And, you know, we do want people to know, we realize that $550,000 is not a tiny budget by any means, but, you know, in the context of Cary, it's significantly cheaper, sometimes half of what you might find around the area. Yeah. And a lot of these neighborhoods have a lot of good things to offer.
They do.
So, yeah.
All right, so that brings us to our first neighborhood we're going to talk about, which is Kildaire Farms, which is probably the most unique out of all the neighborhoods we're going to talk about. It was the first, this is just like a small like historical fact I find really interesting. It was the first planned unit development in the area, which is a fancy word for basically a large neighborhood with a lot of amenities attached to it, whether it's shopping or trails, an HOA. So this is one of two neighborhoods we're going to talk about today that actually has an HOA. As far as like the housing data goes, this is going to be the least expensive we're going to talk about. So the average is $471. So I know we said $550 and below. This is by far the least expensive we're going to talk about today. So you can find a really good deal in Kildaire Farms. Average year built 1980s, early 1980s. That's going to be a consistent theme in this video. And average square footage is around 1,800.
Yeah, and Kildaire Farms is a really neat neighborhood because, like Zach mentioned, it's a planned unit development. So, and you know, within the neighborhood, you know, you've got a nice like trail system, and then right across the street from it, you've got a really great shopping center that includes Cary's Trader Joe's. So if you are a Trader Joe's fan, you would be surprised how many people, when they reach out about moving to the area, they really want to either be close to a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's. Like that's like a non-negotiable. So if you want to be able to practically walk to Trader Joe's, then Kildaire Farms could be a really good option. And I really like the housing styles in Kildaire Farms. You know, a lot of them are smaller, but I feel like they kind of have this like mid-century interesting architectural style, which I really like. And it is pretty wooded in the neighborhood as well. I'd say probably the most wooded of the neighborhoods today.
Like
I would, overall.
Yeah, I would say so as well. So you mentioned Trader Joe's, there's also a Duck Donuts by there, which is a really cool place, like a North Carolina place that, I don't know, you put like, you choose your toppings like for your donut.
Unique donuts. It's like Subway, but for donuts.
Yeah, it was founded in Duck in the Outer Banks. But anyway.
It's a cool spot.
There's a lot in that area. It's a really cool part of Cary where you can get a really affordable house. By the way, if you are looking to buy or sell a home, our contact info is below and you can find us there.
So next on our list is Northwoods. Northwoods is just north of downtown, kind of in the central Cary area, getting closer to the Morrisville side of Cary. So really close to Park West Village, which is a big shopping center in Morrisville, but still convenient to get to it from Cary. This neighborhood has no HOA, which is really appealing to a lot of people for sure.
Yeah, so 3 out of the 5 neighborhoods we're going to talk about today have no HOAs, and this is one. I'd say probably the biggest benefit of this neighborhood is how close it is to downtown Cary. So the price points are a little bit on the higher side based on what we're going to talk about today. So the average price point in Northwoods is $540,000. However, the square footage is actually on the larger side. So the average square footage in this neighborhood is 2,200 square feet, and they were also mostly built in the early 80s. But if you wanted to be in the mid to low 5s and really close to downtown Cary, Northwoods is the best option you have.
For sure. And you're also close to Bond Park. So not only do you have the new Downtown Cary Park, which is absolutely amazing, such a cool park. You've got that right next to the library right there, but you're also really close to Bond Park, which is Cary's largest park. It has like over 300 acres and just lots to do there at Bond Park. So I feel like this is just a really sweet location.
It is. It is. All right, next up on the list is Oxford Hunt. So what makes this neighborhood really awesome is it actually has a greenway system that connects you directly into Bond Park. I know we've talked about Bond Park a couple times. It's a really large park in Cary, like 300 acres, tons of outdoor amenities, and there's a greenway system that connects you directly to that from Oxford Hunt. This is
nice. And it's paved, so it's great if you've got a stroller or you want to do biking or anything like that.
Yeah, so it's a really neat neighborhood. This is located, I want to say West Cary. Like if you were to draw a circle around downtown Cary, like a 2-mile radius, you're going to hit most of these neighborhoods. So they're really within a close radius together. But I'm going to say West Cary just for the sake of it. But it's a really neat neighborhood. It does have an HOA. So 2 of the neighborhoods that we talked about today have an HOA, and this is going to be the second one.
Yeah, and at Oxford Hunt too, there is a nice little like pool and playground area. So I feel like sometimes it's a nice
your dues are
trade-off,
going. Yeah,
right?
your dues are going somewhere.
Yeah, like if you have little kids, it is cool, and they do have a nice little like sand and digging area there. That was pretty cute. I know our kids would really like that. So I feel like it's not. I don't mind paying an HOA if I know that I'm getting something in return for it.
Exactly.
As far as price points and things like that in Oxford Hunt, it's our most expensive neighborhood on the list today. It's just right above that $550 mark that Zach mentioned. So he's a liar. This neighborhood averages around $565.
That's so close though.
I'm just kidding. Obviously, that's an average. So some of the homes in there would be below that $550 mark if you found one that was on the smaller side. And the average home size is about 2,100 square feet. So kind of larger, like the Northwoods development, and homes built in the 90s roughly.
Yeah.
So this one definitely, I think, of the neighborhoods we're talking about today, does have the most. It's not cookie cutter, but I feel like it has the most subdivision-y feel. Some of the other neighborhoods have like a little bit of an older feel. I feel like this one feels a little more similar to like the newer neighborhoods of today.
But if you want to walk out of your front door and build a walk to Bond Park for an affordable price, good.
I would be pretty happy with that situation.
All right, next up on the list is Scottish Hills. So this neighborhood, low fives, average price point $523. Average year built is 1976. So we've kind of backtracked into the 70s, and then the average square footage is 2,000 square feet. So again, this neighborhood, like all the other neighborhoods, we can say it's close to Bond Park, it's close to downtown Cary. All these neighborhoods are. There's some that are like slightly closer than others, but they all enjoy the benefit of being in close proximity to really some of the best things Cary has to offer.
Yeah, for sure. And this neighborhood, with it being built in the 70s, you find that like typical 70s architecture, which like just kind of brings me back to my childhood, because I grew up in a neighborhood that's kind of similar, so it's a lot of like the 70s split level homes and the brick ranches and things like that. So if you like that style of home, you'll definitely find a lot of that here in Scottish Hills. I feel like bigger yards as well. So that's really
heavily wooded. Like it's going to be a heavily wooded neighborhood. So this time of year, you're going to be blowing a lot of leaves.
Yep, that's true. And so if you like the idea, a lot of these are potentially going to be more of like, not fixer-upper in the realm of like it's a hot mess, but like cosmetically, you have a little bit of an option to maybe go in and update some things and really make it what you want it to be. Yeah,
and there is no HOA in this neighborhood as well, so this gives you another HOA-free neighborhood. And by the way, HOAs, I know we've mentioned this in some of our other videos, but like when you average out Wake County, Durham County, Orange County, which are like the 3 main counties in our region, 80% of the homes sold are in an HOA. Yeah. So to have a list of homes where 3 out of the 5 are not in the HOA is not the norm.
Yeah, it's impressive, right? It is. And it kind of makes sense though, because when you're thinking about affordable homes, like a lot of times you have your older homes, and older homes usually have no HOA or they have a bigger yard. So, they definitely have their pros and cons. Yeah. But for a lot of people, they are adamantly against being in an HOA, and some people don't care, some people want the HOA, so it is nice to have the option to not have one.
It is.
All right, so next on our list is Walnut Hills. This is kind of similar in a way to Scottish Hills as far as like the year built and everything. We're looking at averages in the 70s, 1970s that is, and this location is
not the 1770s.
Yes. the colonial area of Cary. Just kidding. 1970s. And this one's gonna surprisingly put you close to downtown Cary, right? But no, we're actually gonna tell you it's closer to something else, which is the Fenton.
It is close to the Fenton.
Yeah, which is really cool. It's a great newer shopping center in the Cary area. A lot of like outdoor access. There's a movie theater there. It's a really beautiful shopping center, so it's definitely nice to be kind of close to that. It has more of what you would expect to find like in a mall, you know, as far as like the stores that are there. It's not like a grocery store type shopping center. It's more like, you know, clothing and things like that. Restaurants. And this one, similar, 1970s, like I mentioned already.
Yeah. All right, Cindy already mentioned the average year built, which was 1970.
1970,
yeah,
in case
clarify.
you guys forgot.
Yeah, to clarify.
We haven't said it enough.
Yeah, but anyway, average square footage, 2,100 square feet. So again, pretty common theme here, and average price point, $511,000. So in general, though, I think it's really great. Like you can easily find a neighborhood in Cary if you're open to an older house or maybe no HOA. Or in general, just maybe a house on the smaller end, especially when you're looking at a place like Kildaire Farm that averages smaller than a lot of the others that we've talked about today.
Yeah.
You can definitely find affordable living in Cary for sure.
For sure. And I feel like in a lot of areas when you start to look at, I need something to be like on the affordable side, when you're looking at things that are like, these are all about $200,000 less than the median. I feel like sometimes that puts you in like kind of a terrible house, you know, like I feel like a lot of those would be like falling apart if you were looking at homes that are $200,000 less than the median in Raleigh or Durham or something like that. But I feel like these are all really pleasant, nice areas. The houses are generally going to be in really good shape. You know, you're always going to have your outliers, right? But in general, it's not like we're like suggesting neighborhoods that are terrible or anything like that. Like these are very nice, livable areas for sure.
All right, we are Zach and Cindy Honeycutt, a couple of real estate agents in the area. So if you are looking to buy or sell, we would love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can find our contact info below, and you can also find us on Instagram.
Yeah, we'd love to have you follow along with us on Instagram. You can find us at The Honeycutt Realtors on Instagram or The RDU Buzz if you're interested in looking at news and developments in the area.
Yeah, and we did do a video, like we did do one on luxury neighborhoods. So if you're looking at a higher price point, we did a separate video on top 5 luxury.
We'll link it here.
Yeah,
Some people do, right?
I don't really know how to link it, but we'll figure it out. We'll link it in one of the corners. We'll link it. All right, we'll see y'all next time.